Many teachers feared being judged by their peers, by their colleagues, so they kept their challenges private and their ideas quiet. And one day I asked myself, if everyone is attending personal development but no one is changing their practice, so what are we really learning? And I began to ask deeper questions. What if leadership wasn't about authority, but about authenticity? What if the people closer to the classroom, the teachers, could also lead learning? We didn't have big budgets or fancy programs, but we did have something powerful at ProTalk, a team that cared. So instead of trying to manage teachers better, we decided to listen to them more. And from those conversations came from one simple radical idea. Let's create a space where teachers lead each other. That's how our peer sharing sessions began, or we call PSS. Every Saturday, we gather as equals. One teacher volunteers to share something they do well. Maybe a classroom management strategy, maybe a pronunciation activity, maybe just a way to handle shy students, or maybe some tips to decide with Canva. There were no PowerPoints then, no evaluation forms, no hierarchy, just teachers learning from and learning with each other. And the rule was simple: we don't share to impress, we share to express and to support. After each session, we take one idea and we co-create the lesson plan together. So learning doesn't stay theoretical, it becomes immediately practical. That small, consistent space, just 60 minutes every week, is where real transformation begins. So we begin to see a change, not just in what teachers do, but in how we feel about their work. We move from compliance to commitment. Before, teachers showed training or PD sessions because they had to. Now they show up because they want to. Because it's their space, their ideas, their growth. And we move from hesitation to collaboration. In the beginning, many teachers were afraid to speak up. They were afraid of being judged for not knowing something. But once they saw that even leaders, including me, were willing to say, I don't know either, the fear disappeared. And what questions turn into conversations, and those conversations turn into collaboration. And we move from teaching alone to learning together. Once a week, when we sit down, coffee in hand, we are reminded that we are not just individual teachers, we are a learning community. And that's the transformation. It's not about adding more training, it's about changing the culture. So, through our PSS, we learned that leadership doesn't come from authority. When we just teachers to share, to question, to learn together, we don't just build better lessons, we also build a culture of leadership, one conversation at a time. And then looking back, we realize something simple but profound. When teachers are trusted with responsibility, they rise to it. When their voices are heard, their confidence grows. And when they grow, the whole community grows with them. That's what I call leading from the middle. And our PSS become the living proof of that idea. Yes. Thank you for listening, and I hope this gives you a glimpse of how leading from middle can truly transform a teaching community.
Thank you very much, Pui. Very such a powerful story. So from a small thing leading to a change, fostering a lot of trust among teachers. They come and learn together. Very good story. Dear participants, if you have any comment and you have any opinion, feel free to put it in the chat or you can put it in the Q&A. And also if you are in Facebook, you can
Hello.
directly
Hello.
write that in the comment. Thank you very much. We can talk more about that. Let's see what our audience want to know more about the story. Such a wonderful story. Well, let's hear from Myanmar. Uh, Now let's move to teacher Ivy. The screen is yours.
Hello, I'm
Oh, lagi
Ivy,
seminar.
and
Lagi nonton seminar.
my topic on teacher leadership is about learning, leading, and transforming. Our challenges of building a culture on teacher leadership began last 2 years ago. So first, many teachers were hesitant to take initiative in the classroom, even for their own professional development or for some collaboration for some projects. So they often waited for the top-down direction rather than stepping forward as teachers. And second, we have limited time and resources.
Seminar.
And finally,
Lagi ini nonton seminar.
workload pressures meant professional
Lagi ikut
development
seminar.
wasn't always seen as part of teaching identity. It was more of like an add-on. So to address these, we are starting from two years ago. We created a structured CBD system. So every year we will start with analyzing our teaching
Cari batas
methodology.
Seminar.
Refer to the CBD framework and then
Seminar. Aduh. Oh, Dokter Nangnya disconnected.
sorry.
That's okay. No need to worry because I think it's the connections. Now you're back live on. Yeah. Thank you, Ivy.
So for the solutions, we created a structured CBD system. So for every Friday, we will just close the classes. So we will not put any classes for the teachers, and the teachers will have a day off for the CBD. And in that day off, we will ask the teachers to share and do some sharing, or we will invite teachers in teacher training to give us some sessions on teacher development.
Halo Elvano,
topics.
bisa dibantu like sama subscribe.
So we will use the CBD framework to guide yearly CBD themes. We use peer teaching, demo lessons, and reflection cycles for every Friday. And we also use the integrated free resources from the Teaching English. And the outcome has been transformative. Teachers now lead the sessions themselves and even mentor peers. And collaboration has grown across programs from IELTS to General English to young learners. And some of the teachers are even interested to be teacher trainers themselves. And we have seen teachers grow confident enough to present at local events and conferences. And most importantly, the culture shifted. Teachers now see themselves as leaders, not just instructors. So practical steps in our context for the ASEAN would be to start small. Even a 30-minute sharing session after class can make a big difference. And use free resources from Teaching English and rotate teacher leadership roles. So we will assign them one task for each month, and then they will have to read on a topic, and then they will have to share it in the CBD session. And we created a reflection cycle, reflection routine, and we make it simple. And last but not the least, we have to adapt the CBT to our teachers' realities, whether there's large class sizes, heavy timetable, or mixed language classes. To close, my message is teacher leadership doesn't require big budgets or grand plans. With structured CBT, a clear framework, and free tools like those from the English websites, teachers can truly learn, lead, and transform together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Teacher Ivy. So you illustrate very beautifully how consistent the professional development. Yeah, start from small, and you do it consistent and build a culture of leadership across the entire organization. So it should start small, consistent, of course, low budget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's move on. Now let's look at the audience. Now, the audience, let's do a short reflection. Think of our own context or your context. Let's take a moment to reflect on our experience as a teacher or educator. You'll see later in what ways, big or small, do your leadership in your school and community grows, and how that is growth. So have a look at that. What is one leadership action that happened around you? It could be big or small. Start from small leading to big, or formal to informal. Yeah. Then you can share that in the chat or in the Facebook. Or if you have any question, you can put it in a Q&A on that. Okay. Thank you. Let's see. Questions probably. Let's have a look at here. Now, how can teachers and students be effective teaching and learning if they both lack of AI tools? That's a very common. Anyone want to have a quick response on that? Savitri, Pui, or teacher Ivy?
Maybe I would like to respond to that question, yeah, because
Okay.
the question is
Apa?
interesting. So,
Mau makan enggak?
what is the question again? How can teacher and students have effective?
How can teacher?
Mhm.
Yeah, if you are lack of technology, say not just AI.
Okay. So, from my experience, yeah, we teachers, when we teach without technology, it can be still effective, I guess, yeah. So it depends our approach and techniques and strategies, of course. So let's say technology. Well, it is true that technology can make our lesson more engaged, more interesting, more effective, and so on. Yeah, but if you are worried that without technology, our teaching cannot be effective, I guess please don't be like that, because especially in Indonesia, there's still so many
sendiri di komen.
regions that cannot
Hai Rehan
access
Ali.
good
Akbar
internet,
Taufan
so
mengatakan
they cannot use
wajahnya
internet in
sendiri.
learning or teaching, and also maybe they still
Wow,
not
kamu
too
terbuat
familiar
dari
with
itu ya?
AI. So I believe that if the teachers have good technique or strategy, they will still can create fun, interesting and enjoyable learning. I think that's what I can answer, Pak Jati. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a question from the audience. Now, still
Halo Embun.
with you, Safitri. How can collaboration with peers, from your experience, peers, school leaders, or community can strengthen the teacher's leadership? Can you respond quickly on that?
Okay, so of course, to strengthen the leadership, not only the thing that we can do in the classroom, yeah, but beyond the classroom, we can also collaborate with peers, school leaders even, or maybe any other communities. So to strengthen this, of course, the first thing that we need to do is we need to trust each other, yeah. So we need them trust us, yeah. So how can to make these people trust us? We just show what we can do for them, our values, particularly. For example, we can do good in technology and teaching. Probably we can share with them, or ask them to collaborate. Yeah, for me, for example, so I have known quite a lot of school leaders in my city, Samarinda, because they have known me as teacher who use AI and technology in the classroom. So because they trust me, they invite me to share about what I have employed in my classroom. So I can say that trust and our values, our experience can help to strengthen the collaboration, Pak Jati. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Savitri. So collaboration, that's remind us of that leadership will
ini
grow
lagi
with a
seminar.
partnership,
Seminar
friendship,
pengajaran
not
bahasa
in
Inggris.
isolation or in the form of instruction. Thank you very much. Now let's move to Pui. What advice would you give to teachers who want to start leading but feel hesitant? Yes, no, maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, Pui.
Yeah,
Thank
okay. Thank you, Chelsea, for your question. Yeah, that's a great question. I would say this. We shouldn't think of leadership as something big or distant. It doesn't have to be a grand title or a formal role to be a leader. Sometimes leadership begins with something really simple, like a conversation between two teachers. When one teacher say, I'm struggling with this activity or with this lesson, and the other teacher replies, let's work on it together, or let me show you how to do, let me show you how I did it before. And that's where leadership starts. So it's not about standing on a stage, taking initiative, offering support, and it's about being willing to learn together. So that moment when teachers connect, listen, and help each other, we grow. And that's leadership in action. So if you are a teacher who wants to lead but feels hesitant, don't wait for a position. Start with connection, start with a conversation, start with something you already do well. As something I mentioned before, maybe your lesson design skill, maybe the way you manage a big class, maybe the way you connect with shy students, and you share that with one colleague. It's okay. That's how it began for us at Pro Talk. One teacher shared something simple, and suddenly others felt brave enough to do the same. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, there is another question. I think that's related to what you just said here from the Zoom. A new teacher. I'm a new teacher here, and I want to know your advice. I have an English club for speaking club,
Hello,
and I'm going
Rajesh.
to
Hi.
have a community on that. Any advice?
How are you?
Can you give an advice if they want to have a speaking club with the teachers so that the club will grow? Is there any tips? Anyone from you? Maybe Pui, Mai, or Savitri?
Oh, terima kasih. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I will give it shortly. Yeah. Okay. I think that teacher Ivy is going to say something. Yeah. The advice is that I think that we can show up with honesty and curiosity. Teachers should believe in this way. We don't have to have all the answers, but we have to be willing to start the conversation. Yeah. I just want to add a little bit. Yes. Over to you, the teacher Ivy.
Thank you, Pui. My answer to this would be, if you are to develop a community and lead speaking clubs, the main thing is consistency. So if we usually do a speaking club every Friday for our students. So if we do it every Friday, no matter who show up or not, it becomes a habit. And secondly, as Ms. Bui mentioned, we need to be able to take the initiative, and also sometimes it's good for the students to lead the community or the speaking club for it to be consistent and sustainable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Teacher Ivy. Now, one question from me for you. Now, what leadership qualities actually do you think it's most needed in a rapidly changing education context? Now, with the involvement of AI, with the involvement changing curriculum and everything changed very quickly, then what leadership qualities do you think are most needed? Teacher Ivy.
Thank you, Jati. For me, the main thing that I stick to as a leader is self-awareness and being grounded in every moment. There could be some instances where it's too big to handle, but first we need to be self-aware. So if we are self-aware of our own emotions, we can be self-aware of other people's emotions as well. And as leaders, we shouldn't rush the decisions based on our own emotions. I think that would be my advice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Teacher Abi. There is one question from
Lagi batuk.
Jeffrey
Gatal banget ini.
Balibado. I think it says in the chat about CPD. Not just for Teacher Ivy, but later, Safitri, if you have something to say, then you can respond on that. About CPD, we find it challenging here in our country. I think it's in everywhere that CPD is challenging because it could be costly, limited, meaning limited time, limited opportunity, time consuming. All of us are very busy with the teaching and load and others. Then the question is, how can we cope up to have CPD? Maybe from Ivy?
Thank you. So the CBD, if we are to think of the meaning, it could be really, it could start small, as I've mentioned. So the CBD doesn't necessarily need all the fancy equipments or
Foto pertama,
really
itu
esteemed
foto
trainers.
saya dan
It could
suami
start
yang
from
foto
your
pertama,
own as
pojok
well.
kiri atas.
So we could
Kiri atas
start
sebelah.
our own continuous professional development by taking classes
Oh, kalau dari situ kanan ya?
from
Dari
British
situ kanan
Council
ya,
or
yang
the
ini atas
Teaching
ini.
English. There are
Ini
a lot of good
saya sama
resources,
suami.
valuable resources from those websites. And second,
Sampingnya itu
the
pas
continuous
wisuda
professional
temen.
development also means that you are aware of your own action in the classroom. So for every class conducted,
Yang lain itu foto jam
I would
kuliah.
advise teachers to
Kuliah
just
pasca sarjana.
give a moment for reflection on how the class went well, and what went well or what didn't, and then we need to reflect on our own mistakes, and then we can continue. And after that, we can do a peer sharing session, as Ms. Wheat mentioned in her school, and then we can share those. So the CBD, it could be sometimes we could see this as a big grand thing, but it could start from you. So I believe that would be my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, CPT sounds formal and expensive and so on, but we can start something small. Thank you very much. Maybe a quick response from Pui. I think you're nodding all of the time. Hopefully you're going to say something about that. Pui.
Yes. Another question?
No, the same question about CPD. Do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, from my perspective, I think that we just keep it simple but consistent. Yeah, instead of saying sustainable, I would like to use the word consistent. Simple. Yeah. It can be small, but it should be regular conversations, and from that we can build trust and ownership over time. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now, a special question for Safitri. There is a question from Facebook. I think that's related to your situation, Safitri. That's from Amina Ahmed. It was difficult for me to manage a pupil or student with muscular dystrophy. I don't understand what does that mean, actually. Muscular dystrophy in my class last session. Pupil with autism were a lot easier for me to manage. Why is that? Is there any scientific reasons? Safitri, probably you in that environment with the athletes, probably you got an answer for this.
Okay, thank you for the question. It's kind of hard actually, yeah, because it is related with the health condition of the student itself, yeah. So if we compare between the student that has autism and also the, what is it called, Pak Jati? Muscular, blah blah blah, and so on.
Hasan is
So it
Muscular,
means,
yeah.
so it means that it is a physical
bisa berbicara
disabilities.
bahasa
Yeah.
Indonesia
So
ya.
of course it is so
You speak
hard
Indonesian?
to treat the students with that condition. Even when they are in the same classroom with normal
Do you speak
students. So
Indonesian? Do you
like
speak
in
Indonesian?
Indonesia, so our government encourage us to have inclusivity in every school, meaning that we need to accept all of the students with any condition, including with those like that. So I think that when you find it is difficult to treat this kind of students because teachers don't have any background knowledge, don't have any skills yet to treat these students. So maybe the solution is we need like shadow teacher or teacher shadow that
Oh,
maybe
sedikit. You speak,
you ever heard
you
about that
speak
that
a little
can
bit
help the
Indonesian
regular
language.
teacher to treat
Well,
this
I
kind of
also
students.
teach
That's
the
what I
Indonesian
can
language
answer, Pak Jati.
to
Thank you so
other
much.
to speakers of other
Okay,
languages.
thank you very much. Now, the time is tickling.
If you're
Without
interested
realizing that's
to
already almost an hour.
to
It's a little
learn
bit overtime
Indonesian
actually.
language, I
So
can help
before
you
we
with
close
that.
for this session, I want to hear
I
from
see
each
you like
panelist.
Indonesian.
If you could give one message, just one message to inspire teacher leadership in
So I like it like this,
Southeast
Hasan
Asia,
Yusuf. You
what
you
would it
can
be?
talk to me in
Start from
Indonesia,
Savitri,
and
then
I will
Dwi,
talk to
then
you in
Ivy.
English.
Thank you.
Yes, but try
Okay, maybe what I
to
can
answer
say
me
is
using
start
Indonesian
from
language.
something small, consistent, be confident, and keep going. Just be yourself. Thank you so much, Pak Jati.
Yeah, thank you. Now let's move to Dwi.
Yeah, I would say
Maybe I want to
leadership
know what's
becomes
your
a way of
occupation.
working. We
What
should
is your
do leadership
occupation?
to become
Halo
a way
Putri
of
Dewi
working, not
Persik.
just a moment of motivation.
Okay. Yeah, the last one
Oh
from
yes,
teacher
I'm
Ivy.
married. I'm married. I have
My
a
last
family.
message would be
I'm married and
to
I've got
repeat.
2 children.
My last statement is self-awareness
Halo
and
Dewi
awareness
Persik.
of other people's emotions. And when we see past their actions,
What about you
we can see
yourself,
their
Hasan?
true
What about
self,
you yourself?
and then we can understand what their true intentions are if we are to lead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, teacher Ivy. Okay,
Okay.
thank you for coming. Thank you for attending. On behalf of British Council and also ITEL, Indonesia Technology Enhanced Language Learning, I want to extend our sincere thanks to our panelists, Savitri, Pui, and teacher
Okay,
Ivy,
I want to
and all
I
of
want
you,
to
our
go
participants,
to my
for your
other
energy and
picture.
engagement, for the questions and the sharing. Yeah. This conversation reminds us that teacher leadership is not about title. It's about initiative, collaboration, and also heart. We have to do it with love in that. Let's continue to learn, lead, and transform together. And now I'll give back the time and the microphone and the screen to Davide. Davide?
Thanks very much, Pak Jati, and thanks to everybody, all
Yeah.
the
Okay,
panelists, to Savitri,
goodbye.
to Bui, and to Ivy as
I'm
well.
also happy
Great
meeting
discussion,
you.
and as
I'm
always,
glad
great to
meeting
see
you.
the engagement
I'll
from
see you
everybody in the
around.
chats, certainly in the Zoom chat, and I think
Halo,
it's the
Putri Dewi
same on
Persik.
Facebook Live
Hi,
as
Putri
well.
Dewi
Really great to see.
Persik.
And I love the questions as well about that sense of community and collaboration, because again, that's why we're all here. As Ailey said at the very beginning, seeing everybody, seeing some regular faces week in, week out on at the conference, and then
Hi.
also taking part in teaching English sessions and activities over the last few weeks, and hopefully in the future as well. It's another great example of that sense of community and that sense of support for one another. So yeah, thanks to everybody from ITEL, from Pak Jati, Finita, and from all the panelists as well, both today
Yeah,
and
okay.
yesterday.
Makasih Putri Dewi
We're
Persik.
just on the hour, exactly on the hour, so that's perfect timing, Jati. Haven't overrun at all. Well done. Excellent timekeeping. So just to wrap things up before I give you a little break, just a reminder, as always, how to access your certificate. Again, lots of people asking about CPD and how to get evidence of their CPD. So again, if you've got your phone handy, I'm sure you all have your phone very handy, click on the QR code, complete the survey, And once you submit your survey, you'll see a thank you message, and then you can download your certificate. And if you use a desktop or a laptop browser, it's probably better than on a phone using Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. So then you can edit the name and the surname, and then you can type your own name, and then you can save or print your own certificate. As always, your feedback. Ailey at the beginning was already talking about some of the feedback we've received in the last 3 weeks. Not only the amount of feedback, but the quality of the feedback as well. So as always, you can see that we really do take that to heart. So please do take a few moments to give some feedback on today's first session. And our next session and our final session for ASEAN this year, very sad to say that after 3 weeks, is just 1 hour from now, in 58 minutes from now. And Dr. Willie Renandia, whom I'm sure many of you know, will be speaking on the topic of read more, listen more, the neglected path to fluency. So really hope I'll be chairing that session as well. So having a little break in the next 50 plus minutes. I hope you get a chance to have a break as well. Maybe grab a drink, maybe even have dinner, if depending on where you are in our region. But as always, it's so wonderful to see so many of you here joining us this afternoon, this evening from ASEAN and around the world from wherever you are. And we really hope to see you for our final session in an hour from now. But just to finish, a huge thanks once again to all the ITEL team and to all today's panelists, to Safitri, to Bui, and to Ivy as well. Thank you very much. Hopefully see you in an hour from now. Bye for now.
Recording stopped.
Dah selesai. Ini mau download sertifikat dulu. Habis ini pamit dulu ya. Ini mau belanja dulu. Beli telur. Ya udah, bye semuanya. Thank you for joining me.